Sting a bee in a sling. You are listening to the Educated Podcast.
Pete Bell is spoiled for liquids over here.
All the liquids.
All,
None of the sugar.
all the liquids.
It's like an advert for sweeteners right now.
Don't start off with that.
Who's it? What was it you wanted to start with?
Oh, Return of the Mac. Because the main man, the listen to this. The genius, the
The man himself.
mad scientist when it comes to nutrition's back.
Is that what you used to call him?
No, I've just made that up right now.
His life is nutrition.
Yeah.
It is.
Does it get tiring?
No, I love it. You're learning every day. Every day.
No.
Return of the Bell.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's up? How's life been since the last one? What was the number of the last one?
I'm going to
I
say
don't
about
today.
91,
I reckon.
95, something
Haven't I
like
been on twice now, though? This is
Yeah,
the
this
third
is
time,
third
yeah?
one.
This is third time, yeah.
Yeah.
Third time lucky.
Yeah, as doesn't come anymore
He does.
when you show up.
Yeah, why doesn't he come with me?
Because he's in awe of you.
Does he feel intimidated?
Yeah. He normally he rushes to muscular men. But I feel like
He's pretending that he's got the best bicep pose on the AP, hasn't he?
yeah, he doesn't
Oh.
like it now when you show up.
He wants that double bicep.
Like last time when he tried to out-angle you.
He did out-angle me. He didn't try. He did.
He
Did you not
legit.
see? I looked a right mug next
It's
to him.
alright, he knew the lighting. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Oh.
he worked it out.
We've got new lighting now.
He was not what was it, confident in out angling you in the photo.
So he ran off.
Where is he?
Where
are you, Az?
pretended he has to look after his child or something, I think.
What an
Oh,
excuse.
I
that-
know.
Stop throwing shade on Aaron.
I'm only joking. He knows it.
So you you even mugged us off in our comments. I was really upset about that. I was like slightly hurt and
When we were discussing the vegetable proteins, yeah?
vegetables, yeah.
Vegetables.
You didn't even count your veg, so I was,
Fats. No, was it eggs and nuts?
Eggs and nuts, innit?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
No.
vegetable proteins as well. I was arguing that vegans could eat eggs as long as they were free range, and it's
No,
a
they
pathetic.
can't.
No, but what I'm saying is they should, because it's pathetic to think that eggs are like somehow harming animals. The
No,
point
They're
of
off that.
veganism is not harming animals.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Why?
Like, I'm not a vegan, but I agree with what they do.
Pete
Like-
Bell's here repping vegans. Go on, mate. Let's have it.
I eat like 5 kilos of chicken breast a week, but yeah.
But you'll defend him.
Yeah, no,
Go on.
like the process in which eggs are made. I know you say they're free range, but it's still like, it's just the industry, isn't it?
No, I don't mean that. I meant, right, we say this outside our studio, we've got a bit of an acre of land, big fence round it, and we've got like 10 chickens and a chicken coop. They can mooch about all day looking for worms and shit, and then they go in and lay eggs, because that's what chickens do.
Yeah.
Them eggs are ethical.
I agree on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
But
Like, I'm saying if vegans bought them off like a little mom and pop farm, then they're not actually doing anything unethical, because them eggs are going to get laid, whether they're eating them or not.
Yeah.
It's not like they're being forced to be pregnant like cows. You know what I mean? You have to force them into pregnancy to get milk.
Yeah.
None of that happens with eggs. They do that every day without fail for their whole lives until they're too old to lay eggs.
But is
Then you eat them.
in the vegan thing, like, you just shouldn't eat it because it's come from another animal, not the fact that it. I
But-
mean, they are upset at the way they get treated, but I thought it was legit that it was just it's produced by the animal.
Probably, but I just find that daft with the eggs.
Well, you're at uni, you should be around vegans and shit. Like,
I know.
That's where they
My-
congregate,
Well, my
isn't it?
dad's a vegan.
your dad's vegan.
My
wow.
dad's a vegan.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got a few vegan friends, and I support what they do.
I'm not against it completely. Like they're
Just there, like eating chicken. Like, I support you guys.
You're doing a
Just-
great job.
Just turn that barbecue up a bit though. Get me that Jack Daniels glaze.
So what
'Cause that
part
does
of,
not go well on a parsnip. Like
yeah, what part of it are you supporting?
Like,
not being nasty to animals.
if I wasn't into the bodybuilding fitness industry, I would probably be vegan myself. Just for the aspect, like, it's not cool, is it? It's not cool to kill animals. Like,
Yeah. No, like, you feel harsh on animals. Like when we work on I work outside, work near fields, see cows, and you look at them and you think they're just like dogs. But I'm very detached when I sit in fucking. Where was I sitting today? Some grill somewhere, and was like
having a big lump of sirloin.
Yeah, no, I had a burger and was just like, this does not represent that like playful cow to me. This represents a burger.
If you had to kill it yourself, do you reckon you would eat less meat?
I think I'd eat more. No, if we could legitimately go hunting, I'd be happy to do that. We can't do that in this country.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could.
You don't think you could like take an animal's life or
I
whatever?
just think we're animals.
Yeah,
We get too far ahead of ourselves just because we've got computers, but we're animals as well. And like the circle of life dictates that everyone eats it. Life eats life.
It does, but we're smarter than that. We don't need to.
But you're eating life by eating veg. And they've now done studies where they can talk to each other and communicate things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've also done this thing now where they get the electrodes that run up and down trees, and they bang the signals, and they bang them through a computer, and they actually make music. Swear to God, play that tree music.
That tree music beats.
Yeah, have you seen it?
So what? Tree communication music. something
Yeah,
like
something like that. Basically, the signals that they send.
Because they say like the biggest living thing on the world is like some fungi colony. I don't know where it is.
It's all connected. It's
But it's
somewhere
like
the
literally,
Amazon, I think.
yeah.
But
And with trees in it, like if you cut one tree down, they send like some sort of distress signal to other trees nearby or something. Or
Yeah,
they've
have you-
detected that.
not only do they, if say there's a tree here getting eaten by caterpillars, it'll send off a pheromone to warn other trees, and then it makes their leaves taste bitter, so they don't get fully eaten to protect the species.
That's clever.
But they've now proven that not only do they do it when they're being eaten, they'll do it if you play the sound of a caterpillar eating leaves at a tree. They will still do it.
Really?
This is proven.
Yeah, 100%. Look, if you went back to that all bit,
Yeah.
look at the first link. Plants talk to each other using an internet of fungus.
Well, let's not
They
use.
literally send signals to each other across like forests and everything. It's mental.
Instead of searching BBC, do you mind typing in? Go back to that page, just.
Yeah.
But type in
Bust around.
PubMed. Tree communication PubMed.
Interplant communication through mitochondrial
Click on that a second.
networks.
Let's just see if there's a brief abstract.
15.
Just scroll down to the bottom of that abstract there. So
Gee, my eyes.
we have found. Oh, where's it gone? Scroll down.
There is, that's like the abstract there.
Yeah, we have found that behavioural changes in eco. Whatever
Sorry,
that
let me
is.
put that back on so people can see.
Plant depends on environmental cues, the identity of a plant's neighbour, and the characteristics of the MN. The hierarchical integration of this phenomenon with other biological networks. What am I reading?
Environmental cues, the identity of the plant.
In broader
Neighbour
scales,
and
forest
craft.
ecosystems and consequences we've observed it when interrupted. Initiate the underground tree talk is a foundational process in the complex adaptive nature of forest ecosystems.
How cool is that?
So even vegans are fucking live things that know what's going on.
It's just level, yeah, like
You just can't hear a lettuce scream. That's all it is.
You can't hear a lettuce scream.
Like, do you know what I mean? They would not be happy. Carrots would not be happy when you peel off their skin and chuck them in a pan. You just got to deal with it. That's life eating life, mate. And that's how life world
Vegans
works.
can't hear lettuce scream. That should be a t-shirt.
That should be our second t-shirt after we eventually release our first t-shirt. Vegans can't hear lettuce scream. I'm gonna that's gotta go. That's popping. Write that down, someone.
Someone write that
Someone
down.
comment on that on the post so I remember it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like vegans will slap a wasp or a fly or whatever, or they won't be bothered about. There was like a massive infographic, and I like poking fun at some guy, John that we had on, because he like posted a big rant about veganism on his Facebook, and then claims he's not vegan or whatever. I don't know, but there was like a post, an infogram of a cow, and it's like all the parts of a cow and how they're used and stuff, and they're using like plastics and all sorts, and like the new £5 notes, and so it's got to be really hard to be like 100% vegan. You got to be like, I don't know, living in a forest somewhere with no shoes or socks.
If you lived in a forest with no shoes and socks, though, you couldn't survive being a vegan because you'd get cold and you'd need fur.
Depends what part of the world you live in.
I'm not saying that they're wrong. to be nice to animals, and I know animals have got more feelings than trees, but at the same time, I just think life eats life. Like, that's just how it works. That's how it's always worked.
Yeah. We don't have canines or the structure of our mouths to
To
eat
chew meat if we didn't need
for no
to.
real reason. Yeah.
But isn't it gorillas have canines?
Yeah, but that's to fight.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they.
No, that's just it's to
that-
threaten. That's a threatening behaviour. So they show their canines as fangs because they recognise fangs of other animals that will attack gorillas, jaguars, etc.
Yeah.
So they have canines, so the alpha male could fucking grit his teeth and then not have to fight.
Can I just get out there, guys? I'm not vegan.
That disclaimer. That disclaimer.
See what I mean? He has to because no one wants to be.
Yeah.
I just respect what they do. That's all. You know, I'm not vegan.
Oh no, I like animals and I think it'd be nice, but I also could definitely go and shoot a deer if I was going to eat it. I don't appreciate anyone who shoots animals and they're not eating it. You know what I mean?
For fun, yeah.
Like going chasing lions. I'd never want to go chase a lion around Africa or.
So this is like the trophy hunting.
Yeah, or
versus...
an elephant or any of that shit. And there's all these arguments about conservation and all that shit. But truth of the matter is, I'd never want to shoot an elephant. But if we had deer roaming around all over the place like Americans do, I'd quite happily go get my own venison. Because they breed like vermin, don't they, deer? And to me, they're there for food, aren't they? The same way, like a fox looks at rabbits and goes, "That's food."
Mm.
So, Pete, you've you moved your whole, educational, I don't know, bettering yourself to another level. Taking on this course at Loughborough. Do you feel like you're different? Like you look at nutrition differently now? Like you're more. I know you're more social media savvy, which I guess is that a thing from being around people that are that way inclined as well, or do you just open it yourself, or what?
Not really, because I'm not around people that are like that.
No?
I've just had to develop it myself, but I'm in an environment where you're surrounded by really intelligent people, so it does bring the best out of you. I just figured I need to get on it more, but since I've moved to Loughborough, I didn't expect it to be as much of a step up as it was. From undergrad to masters, like, I figured it would be a step up, but the step up is huge. The way they critique your work, the amount of reading you've got to do, your depth of knowledge is just so much higher than I expected, but I love the challenge. It's really good. It's definitely like the best decision I made. I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
I went and sat down with someone at university during my undergrad and said, what do I need to do there was actually a job at Tottenham Hotspur going as well. And I wanted to apply for it as their sports nutritionist, and it said requirements, you need to have a MSc in sports nutrition. That's how I did it. I didn't really want to do it, but now obviously I feel it's the best decision I've made. I feel like I'm going somewhere with it, and it's helped me with qualified nutrition to sort of give evidence-based practice and be able to put information out there that people actually. So obviously with Batch, we can actually tell them evidence-based practice.
Yeah, you will get into that. What have you've decided to become? Not a
Guinea
guinea pig? Oh, yeah, go on then.
To a degree.
Yeah, you've
'Cause you work
signed
with
up to the
athletes,
program.
really, don't you?
Most of my people I work with are athletes, yeah.
So I'm a unique.
So you're saying you're
challenge.
not an athlete?
I'm not an athlete. Well,
He is an athlete. He could jump a 50 centimetre box
62 centimeters,
62,
and I
yeah.
could probably jump higher for. I'm not gonna fucking push it, but I could probably get 70.
Yeah.
But it's
I'm a
quite
bad man.
quite interesting with Batch. We started off, we had our first consultation, if you want to call it that. How long ago was it, Batch?
2 weeks ago, something like
Yeah,
that. 2.5 weeks
some-
ago.
So that, and we had a chat about how many calories he's on and how much he needs to have to lose weight. What were you on before? What did you think you needed to eat to lose weight?
I was eating like 2,200 calories.
So what sort of
2,300.
deficit's that?
I don't know. Pete will tell you that.
Huge.
I don't. I just trust what he says instead of.
And when we took his measurements and stuff, his activity levels, because he's very, very active, when we took all that, we calculated, you know what, you want to start around 3,500. And it was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't want to gain weight, Pete. I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
He's done 3,500 for the first week and he lost a pound, like straight away. Even though an enormous amounts of food, he's not hungry. We're allowing him sausage rolls. Not obviously, this isn't what
See, you need to be careful the
In
way
fact,
you
no,
represent.
I haven't had a sausage roll this week.
I thought you did.
No, I swerved. I had sausages.
sausages.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're having this flexible diet approach where if I go to Batch and say, right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you rice cakes and fish all day. he's not going to stick to it. If I say have your bag of crisps with your dinner, fit him into your macros, it's going to be good, and it is good. He's losing weight on enormous amounts of food, and it means we can just knock that back whenever we hit plateaus. Whenever weight loss slows down, let's take the calories back another 100, let's take them back another 200, or let's expend more energy. So I've had to stop him. Can you believe this? I've had to stop him from going on too much running. Like,
yeah, he explained the premise behind it to me was like that you'd rather save that sort of like extra expenditure of energy to a time where he becomes plateau or more stagnant in his diet, and also you don't want him to feel like, because that's the thing, innit? We all go on diets, we all feel we're like, oh, I'm so fucking healthy, look how fucking healthy I am. I'm not eating anything, and I'm a machine. And then like a couple of weeks later you're like, fuck this diet, it's fucked. And then Kenny at work could be like, just have a fucking fuck it off, come the pub, and you're just like, yeah, I've done well. And then that's it, it's all over.
Game over.
You're sort of like, you're doing the obvious thing, but it's not so obvious to the fact that nobody actually does it. Everyone sort of says they're gonna do it, and like, you know what I mean, you represent this flexible dieting, but you have to be careful when you introduce it, like when you post your memes, Pete Bell's memes. This is a new thing
for us, like changing your memes.
Oh right, yeah. No, I didn't want to put it too far because I thought it was a bit harsh, but I sent it to Batch first, this meme of you pushing your protein, and he was like, post it, and I was like, no, it's not not about that.
It was just on your story, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just trying to keep it hush. I more wanted you to see it, to be honest.
No, I laughed. We won't explain what you did. They don't need to know.
Pete Bell feeding people
should have been
protein.
watching our story, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah. But the flexible dieting, you have to sort of like introduce, like, I don't know. When you say that to someone, you run the risk of them running away with it, I guess, and sort of thinking, yeah, all right, well, I'm just going to flexibly diet.
Well, what I've been doing though is he told me I've got to hit my protein.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only macro that I've got to get perfect at the minute.
Yeah.
Or it's got to be at least an amount or more. So it means that I still have to put some healthy shit. I couldn't.
No.
Because there's only one parameter. It seems easy. Hit 200. Was it 200 grams of protein?
Your minimum of 200 grams of protein.
And then,
bearing in mind he weighs 120 at the moment, so we obviously that's why it's so high.
7 now, mate.
I can't.
I'm just joking.
Like, that's why it's a high amount.
Yeah.
If you weigh, I'm just thinking for people listening, if you're a 50 kilo girl, whoever's watching this, don't think, oh crap, I need 200 grams of protein. It's all relative to your body mass.
I like that you've took the listeners into account. I think that's the first time it's ever happened on the podcast.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, we just fire shit at each other and hope they know what we're on about.
I'm just thinking about the 50 kilo vegan female we've got listening.
Yeah.
That's upset I'm shooting deer in my head. But yeah, so I found it easier now because it's just one thing I've got to focus on. Make sure my protein's right. Make sure my calories don't go over 3,500 a day.
Yeah.
And
that's so I've only got to do two things really to keep it.
Yeah, it's better than me saying hit exactly 400 grams of carbs or hit exactly 90 grams of fat. If I just give him two things to work with at the moment, he can suit his preferences. Because I don't want him going over his carbs and thinking, oh shit, I need to go for a run now because I've had 500 grams of carbs instead of 400. So in his head, it just makes him a day. I've read it a million times before, but I listened to it yesterday. Like, the best diet you can give someone is the one that they're going to adhere to. So you can talk about going keto. You can talk about doing the paleo diet, but it's all about what they're going to adhere to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That
so
is
the
most important.
Yeah, you want them to follow it. You want them to believe in it, and then also give that. I guess flexible dieting gives that area where you can stray and then not feel too shitty about it and think. Because I always think what gets people is the fuck it. I fucked it up. Let's start again on Monday, or let's start again in a couple of days, and then all of a sudden it's a couple of weeks, and it's just.
That's what I've done loads of times.
So instead of that, you have you go off the rails and then come back on the rails or whatever, or you can work it in, I guess. Like you're saying, you were booking what you were going to eat that was bad before you'd even ate it, and then you knew where you were at for that day, and then you could just work around that bad thing, I guess.
So I went out for a meal last night. Yeah. So I knew I was going out for a meal last night in the morning, so I went on and got the restaurant I was going to, because it's a chain, like the Beef Eater chain. Yeah. So I went on there, got a steak, got chips, got what starter I wanted, put it all in my MyFitnessPal before I started my day, and then went, right, I've got 2,000 calories left now.
Perfect.
So then I
Perfect.
just broke that down into my other meals and went, right, I need this much protein, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And we've still got Fat Fridays, haven't we?
Yeah, so that's what I did
So
yesterday.
yeah, so every Friday, effectively, Batch has a tradition called Fat Fridays where
At work, you used to just go eat McDonald's or whatever
Yeah,
on Fridays.
yeah. I
And he
just
was
like, I like how that's like a no. We still got him over. Yeah.
Still
well,
going.
when we were on the phone originally, he told me about Fat Fridays. He thought you had to get rid of it. It's like, no, we'll fit it in. We'll
Yeah.
fit it in because we're flexible.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
And let's say, for example, one day he goes 5,000 calories. Throughout the rest of the week, as long as we're hitting on average, what's 3,500 times 7? If you want to work that out. So I'll just put it in now. So say Batch, his weekly target
24.5.
is 24,500 calories. If he goes over 5,000, as long as over the week we catch that up, I'm not too fussed.
Yeah.
As long as he lets me know, we can accommodate to that.
Yeah.
And it is like, why do we look at it? So some people look at it every 3 hours, I must hit this macro. Some people look at it every day, I must hit this macro. Some people do it on a weekly basis. As long as my macros for the week are okay, you're good. So you might have a few days, a lot of people do Monday to Friday while they're at work, they'll go 2,000 calories, and then maybe weekend they'll go up to 3,000 because they know. But they fit it around that, so at the end of the week, they will have still lost weight.
Yeah.
It's just a really good practice to do, I feel.
Yeah, I think there was like one day this week I only got 2,800 calories just because I was busy at work and I was like, didn't have time to go get anything else to eat. And then by the time I actually could have got an extra meal, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm not eating now.
Yeah.
I felt fine. So I was like, oh, that'll do. Do you know what I mean? For the day, I've hit my protein. So a few less calories isn't going to kill the thing, is it?
No.
I'd say it's important as well to, with the whole flexible dieting thing, if you're going to do it, try and get most of your foods from good sources. And I say that because let's say Batch is currently on 3,500, but when we're later down the line, so in a couple of months when his calories might be around 2,500, if he decides he's going to have bagels for breakfast or a Mackey's, then it's a lot harder to get the rest of the food in. So if he has a Mackey's and takes up 1,000 calories, he's only got 1,000 for the rest of the day to play with. So you want to like sort of condense those meals into good quality of foods, because Mackey's isn't going to fill you up as much as a giant bowl of porridge, is it?
No.
So you need, when you get to the lower stages of calorie intake, that's when it's more important to be a little bit stricter.
Yeah, well, that's what I've already sort of come across this where I went the other day and I was like, what did I do? I think I went Nando's. No, last weekend I went Nando's.
Get about you.
Yeah, I don't mess about, mate. I've fucking got to get that protein.
Eat it out all the time, living life of a fucking
Got to get that protein
luxury.
in. I
over
went
there.
Nando's and then I had like something for I had like bacon and sausage and that for breakfast. And then I thought to myself, like, it's only 2 meals. I've been eating like 5 or 6 times a day. And I've wasted like nearly all my calories in 2 meals. And I thought, if once this gets lower, I can't be doing this shit. So, do you know what I mean? I couldn't do both of them in a day.
Yeah.
So, if I was on 2,500 calories.
Yeah, that's why I've started high though, so we can develop the habits whilst we've got this big range of calories we can play with anyway. But I've started really well.
So on a tangent, why you sending for alcohol on Instagram the other day? I think it upset a couple of people. It didn't upset me, but it was just like you mean like about. What'd you write? It was on a Friday.
Texted
as well.
your
Did you
ex-girl.
pick it? Yeah. Did you pick like that time frame just to be like, let's just sort of make everyone regret what they're doing while they're standing at the bar looking at their phone?
No, actually, I live with a guy called Tib. Tib, if you're watching, it's because of you. I basically was just trying to think, what can I
Is
do?
this your American boyfriend?
No, that's Connell.
Oh, he's Canadian, isn't he, or something?
No,
Is
he's
he Canadian?
American.
Oh, he's American.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's from Connecticut. Tib, who I also live with, is Italian. My flat's really diverse.
Right.
We have how many? Let me try and work it out now. I think there's 3 English, 2 Indian, 1 American, 1 from Barbados, and 1 Italian. Really
Yeah.
diverse. But anyway, Tib, the Italian, thought, well, it's a Friday night. Why don't you inform people about their alcohol intake? And he's a dietitian, so like he's on it. But that inspired me to do that, and I thought I'd make people feel bad. But that's why I threw in the whole X thing, just to really warn them about that. 'Cause
That is a worry.
they were probably a few drinks in by the time they read that. It was quite late, wasn't
They
it?
were probably halfway through thumbing a text to their ex. You get the notification Pete Bell's posted and just,
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah.
You send it on WhatsApp, you can delete it, can't you? Or take it back, and then it says like such and such has deleted this message.
I've never done that.
I just know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know from text and X's, just know. But yeah, so what does alcohol do? Like, is it just? I know it makes you feel shit and that. Well, not when you drink it, but
next
afterwards. But
It does a couple of things. Obviously, I work with a lot of athletes, so they do. Well,
Exhibit A.
well, batch the athlete. One of the things it does is during recovery. So after we've exercised, it slows down glycogen resynthesis. So basically getting carbohydrates and storing them in the muscle.
Yeah.
It slows that down. It also slows down muscle protein synthesis, which is obviously really important if we've just done a good training session. We want to repair the muscles. By training and then going to have an alcohol, it's going to slow down muscle protein synthesis. And also it's the big factor, obviously, you're not going to want to train if you're hungover. That's what's in my head whenever I drink. I think, am I going to want to train in the morning?
I don't know.
hungover?
Sometimes though, training hungover's like
awful.
no, it can be good. It can be good.
No, the only time I've ever enjoyed it is going
Sometimes-
swimming.
Sometimes if I set up to wrestle and then I can't let someone down, so like I have to go the next day, and then I'm hungover. My mind will be everywhere whilst I'm rolling, and it's just more of a funny experience. And I think it just puts you in weird situations because you're just like, God, why am I doing this? Why have I done this to myself? But like, it makes you like overcome that. I don't know.
Hungover podcast used to be fun though.
Yeah.
Because
I
you
feel like,
talk
yeah.
mad shit when you're hungover. Your brain's not working properly.
I guess, but hungover podcast doesn't involve doing 20 sets
Yeah.
on your chest and back. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So you,
Just mind reps, Pete. Mind reps. That's what it is. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess some people can get away with it. It depends on you. Whether you, I guess, if someone goes every Friday and they're always drinking and they still work out, they can, But it is one thing that will kick you off a diet, like, or kick you off a sensible eating pattern.
Everyone says that, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you want the hangover cure, don't you?
yeah.
So
Bacon.
What's your body actually craving then? Is it like salt or something?
Fat.
Because they all rave about making these like, you see it on the internet every so often. Like, I don't know, someone in Holland has created the hangover cure, and it's like a little shot of like, I don't know, some sort of drink that's got all the,
2 pints also.
just
help.
hydration. You're dehydrated, aren't you? Post after you've
it's the nutritionist in him.
Yeah, post session.
He's at the bar like, I'm gonna be so dehydrated post this session. Yeah.
no, but in terms of dehydration, to optimize that, you obviously want sodium in there. Carbohydrates will help replenish
Yeah.
hydration status, and also obviously your water intake. So
Don't take your phone with you, or leave it. Like, make sure it runs out of battery so you can't text your ex and feel bad about that.
yeah, have you just got a beer because of the whole alcohol talk?
It's yeah.
It's because it's Saturday night and he's not working.
Fair.
I've got work later.
Have you?
What?
I just hate work.
It's that
Saturday
lifestyle,
night.
mate.
So what time do you get up today then? If you got
7
work?
a.m.
So what time do you finish work?
7 a.m.
Talk to us about sleep.
Well, no.
Because I read something about sleep the other day that sleep's completely dependent on the person. So
I don't
Like,
sleep much.
if 4 hours works for me, then 4. Because sometimes I'll go to bed at midnight, 11 o'clock, and I normally get up most days about 5. So I normally aim for 6 hours because I know that's my sweet spot. Like this morning, I got up at 5 because I fell asleep on the sofa last night at 11, and I just couldn't go back to sleep.
My sweet spot's about 7, 8. I can't do 6.
Yeah.
I'll just get tired too
I
quick.
can rock it off 5 quite easily. Sleep doesn't. I get up because my dog wakes me up because he wants to go for a walk, so I'm just used to it now, so I don't sleep much.
It is something interesting about sleep, actually. So, when athletes travel, I learned this because it was based on like athlete studies. But
You're
when-
all up in athletes' businesses.
all up in
Yeah.
athletes. But obviously, we're going. We obviously travel. I don't, but athletes travel around the world, and different time zones. Like I thought, the barriers for time zones would be going on a plane. This is particularly aimed at immune function, by the way.
Okay.
So athletes' likelihood of getting ill, and I found it really interesting. Like if you were to let's say we go fast forward 5 hours to what your normal sleeping pattern is, your circadian rhythm is going to dictate when you secrete cortisol.
Yeah.
And obviously, if your cortisol levels are high, and you're more likely to get ill. Usually, I believe our cortisol levels are highest in the morning. I don't know if you to know about. I'm not sure. I think it's highest in the morning.
Okay.
But if you say you're actually normally got high cortisol levels at 8, but now suddenly when you normally wake up, but now you're training at 8 o'clock in another country, you're going to be training high intensity exercise whilst having elevated cortisol levels. because of the circadian rhythm. So that makes athletes more prone to get ill by traveling in different countries. So you'll see a lot more illnesses when we go travel to different countries, and that's why we also train in other countries to sort of adapt. So we'll go there a couple of weeks before to adapt to the circadian rhythm.
Yeah, like acclimatise and whatnot, and get used to. Yeah, I think it comes into a lot of play because we follow MMA and people like that travel. Say you've got Luke Rockhold and Yo Romero. They're both
based in America.
American based, and they're fighting in Australia. And even though it's like American time,
Yeah.
so I don't know. They're fighting like 2 in the afternoon. No, 2 in the afternoon. I think the main card will be for Oz, but it'll be for America. It'll be night time. So I don't know whether they stay on like American time. But a lot of fighters talk about like traveling there, and they're just
apparently
up at silly times and all sorts.
Well, there was a big thing back in the day that it was easier to travel from Japan to America and compete than it was to travel from America to Japan and compete.
In terms of what?
Because you're like fighting in the morning instead of fighting.
I have no idea why, but there was a lot of guys that fought. So when Pride was a big thing and the UFC was a big thing together, they did a lot. They did them cross promotion events. And Pride, when they used to send the guys over to fight in Pride, they normally got stomped by the Pride guys. But then when they had Japanese fighters coming over to the UFC, they seemed to compete better.
Yeah.
And there was a big thing, no one ever put any science to it, but there was a big thing that people were saying it was harder to fly from America to Japan and compete than it was the other way round. It might be because you're going into a time zone and out of one, and perhaps what you were saying, like maybe when you land in America, you're actually going to be fighting what you think is morning, whereas if you land in Japan, you're actually going to be fighting at what you think is like 7 o'clock at night or something. I don't know, but
there's a lot of people that swear by like training in the afternoon or later evening they've had more energy than mornings. But for me, I don't know. Whenever it's go time, it's go time. I'm joking, but like I can rest. I wrestle any time of day. It doesn't really bother me. But some people are just like, oh, there's a morning session. It's just shit. I can't perform in the morning. I don't know.
It's probably to do with the circadian rhythm, isn't it? Probably to do with where your cortisol levels are highest. Just when you feel better. I don't know.
No, well, there's got some research for you. Write that down. No, I've always found training in the morning is easy if you're not if you're not trying to do like real strength work. Like I think it's easy to get up in the morning and go like do something like energetic, like when we used to go do circuits in the morning.
Fasted cardio.
Yeah.
Your mind's like.
But circuits in the mornings were alright.
So why is...
But I wouldn't want to get up in the morning and go and try and do a PB on a deadlift.
Why do you think these things get like pushed out, like fasted cardio? Like, I don't know, it's flavour of the year maybe in 2015 maybe or 2014. Like it was like a big thing, wasn't it?
We
like,
used to do it.
Get up in the morning, don't eat, go out and go work out, and then don't eat until like I don't know midday or whatever, and you're just gonna get all the benefits of burning loads of fat and
So fasted cardio, the whole idea, and it's because people don't know how to interpret data. They've done studies where you've done fed or fasted exercise, and what happens is those in a fasted state will oxidize more fatty acids. Because if you think about it, if you've got no food in you, your body's going to oxidize fats because the carbohydrate levels are low. But that doesn't mean it's burning your body fat. It means it's oxidizing more fatty acids in your blood.
Yeah.
It's not taking the body fat. It's not stripping it off you. But it's all about total daily expenditure, as we've said. It's calories in versus calories out. If you do your cardio in the morning, you will oxidize more fats, and maybe you will lose more fat during that period. But then, if you did in the afternoon, you would just lose more in the afternoon anyway. So it all balances out. Like they've done studies. It's a guy called Brad Schoenfeld did a study 2015 or 14. He did a really good study on fed versus fasted exercise, and there was zero difference. And it makes sense there shouldn't be, because it's all about energy balance. It's
in and out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you do the exercise. What the benefits might be by doing fasted cardio is like improved mitochondria, and it's called metabolic flexibility, our body's ability to either metabolize carbohydrates or fats.
Yeah.
So we've spoke about the whole keto thing. Your body will be really good at oxidizing fats if you're in a keto state, because it's so used to oxidizing them, whereas someone like myself and Batch will be better at oxidizing carbs, because of the enzymes and the transporters involved in oxidizing carbs. We're used to doing it. Our bodies are used to using carbohydrates, whereas you were more fat adaptive.
Yeah, it's fake news. I'm not keto anymore. Like,
Thank the Lord.
but I just use carbs when just basically. I normally what do you call it when you don't eat till like 1 p.m. Is it
Fasting.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah. So I do that every day,
That's
no matter
good.
what,
That's
because like breakfast. I just have coffee. That's about it, like black coffee. But I'm pretty
What's wrong
much.
with white coffee.
I might
Racist.
have some. I've had a white coffee just then. I'm just saying, like, I like that Monday to Fridays where I feel like I can diet when I'm in like a regime, or not diet, but stick to something when I'm in like I know where I'm gonna be, I know what's going on type thing. Whereas like, at the weekend you sort of like take what comes.
I've done intermittent fasting myself recently.
Yeah.
Not necessarily intentionally, but because my calories are getting lower, I'm now on like 2,000, and I want to be able to have more food at night. That's when I really crave it. So I've just been tactical. I was saying I won't eat until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then I've got more calories the rest of the day.
Yeah.
If you're trying to put on muscle, then you're probably better off having regular protein, boluses of protein throughout the day. But because I'm in a calorie deficit, it doesn't really make a great difference. As long as I'm hitting my protein for the day, it isn't going to matter. So yeah, around 12 o'clock, I'll sometimes have my first meal, and then I'll have a big meal at night.
Yeah, well, I'm just eating all the time. I'm thinking though, I might do it once a week, 1 day a week, because of when I work Saturday nights, I'll eat my last meal now at I ate it just before I come here, so probably about 7:15,
Yeah.
and then I won't eat at work tonight now. I'll just drink loads of water, and then I won't eat until like 1 o'clock tomorrow when I wake up.
Yeah. When you
So basically, I'm fasting anyway. Like last week, I come home and ate
Yeah, but you'd be
porridge.
fasting if you were sleeping, so you wouldn't
Yeah,
be getting up in the middle of the night. Oh fuck.
No, but last week I come home and ate porridge
Oh right.
because
it
it was because of
It
this
was like
whole-
7 in the morning though, so it's like having breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is now, if I don't eat 7 at night till 1 o'clock the next day, that's
Yeah,
like
it's basically
16
16
hours.
hours,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is what you do as an intermittent fast.
I think intermittent fasting there was like every day in it, or
Well, I don't know. Is there any benefit to doing 1 day?
I'd say the main benefit isn't for me. It's psychological, in the sense that I've got more food for the rest of the day. Some people argue.
don't they
that
say it's like
growth
hormones and
yeah,
stuff like that? Yeah.
Your hormones are improved by being in a fasted state for longer.
Don't you get a hormone spike as well if you like work out really hard and then don't eat for like the next 4 hours or so, or 6 hours?
I don't know, because as a result of exercise, your hormones are going to be increased anyway. So I don't know whether that's
So that might
affected
skew
by
it. Yeah.
I don't know if that's affected fed or fasted.
I don't know. I literally, I don't know. I don't put any scientific practice into the way I eat. I just sort of it's weird, isn't it? It's just what you pick up as you go. I guess if you had someone like yourself, what Batch is doing to try and zero in on what he's intaking and what he's expending, and that it makes a lot of sense to be like in it. But a lot of I think like the general public are just hearsay, just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm gonna
Paleo.
yeah,
Do
paleo. All
now.
of a sudden, I'm not there. They'll just go to the shop and buy it. Like,
Buy a load of nuts.
yeah, like someone was on about the bacon diet the other day, where they just like they can eat as much bacon as they want, but they're not allowed to eat like any other carbs or anything, and they're
It's
basically just
keto.
putting themselves in ketosis. Yeah, but it's just
loads
masked,
of
masked
bacon.
behind this. If you love bacon, that's like the preach call. Like, yeah. If you love bacon,
Well, there's a guy who did a Twinkie diet. Obviously, we don't. It's an American. We don't have Twinkies.
yeah,
over here.
yeah.
But he basically wanted to prove it's a good study really, because it proves that he lost weight on Twinkies alone. I don't know how long he did it for. He did it for like, I swear it's 2-3 months of just Twinkies, and he still lost weight because again his energy balance was in a deficit. He was still lower than he needed, which sort of supports the whole flexible dieting approach, doesn't it?
Just zero nutrients or like.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not recommending
Yeah.
it. It's not healthy, but in
What
terms
is
of weight loss-
yeah?
Have you been fucking with this carnivore shit? This carnivore diet, like the opposite of veganism?
Oh, a meat only diet.
Yeah, what-
Oh god.
Because do you know? Did you ever watch Bigger, Stronger, Faster?
Yes.
Like everybody did
Yes.
back in the day. The guys from that are doing it now, and they're reporting like
It's-
fucking they feel great and shit.
Well, it's ridiculous because you can't survive without the vegetables. You can't survive without micronutrients because there's essential micronutrients that we want.
So but you could.
What about if you like supplement with
I was
like?
going to say in theory, could you supplement?
Is it called
them?
Mean Green or something? It's like a tub of like just condensed veg that you just shot
I guess
in
that's
like
the way
water.
around it, but I think it's ridiculous.
Just eat loads of steak.
But you're okay with veg. Just all veg is all right, but all meat is. See this
Yes.
guy. This guy.
Yes. Definitely.
There's a tribe of cannibals somewhere listening to this now, fuming with you.
Because you can't get all your macronutrients from meat, but you can get all your, well, minus a few from vegetables. Maybe like B12 deficiencies, but like
protein.
no. You can get your protein from vegetables. I'm not vegan, by the way.
No, but
just repeat that.
can you seriously get enough?
Yes. Yes.
What would you have to eat though? Wouldn't you have to eat like 10
So-
ton of nuts a day?
No. Well, if you just ate nuts, but the whole idea is so you can get enough protein. The issue lies in the amino acid leucine, which is
Right.
leucine. I don't know how to explain without confusing people, but leucine activates something called mTOR, which is a signaling pathway which switches on muscle protein synthesis. So leucine switches on mTOR, which then helps us build muscle.
Right.
A lot of vegetable sources of protein don't have high content of leucine.
So it
But-
doesn't turn it on.
It depends. You want around 2 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. But if you were to, so if you had the whole classic beans on toast is good for your protein, but if you just had beans on its own, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But if you had toast, that's because of the combination of amino acids that you're getting. It helps us achieve muscle protein synthesis.
That's what me and Aaron were trying to get across with that beans and rice type thing.
Oh yeah, you've
Yeah.
even mentioned it yourselves. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to shout nuts at that point.
I know.
So you can absolutely get enough protein, and there's a lot of vegan bodybuilders now,
Yeah. Plant-based.
plant-based.
No, they like to say plant-based because they don't agree with all the fucking politics that comes with being vegan, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know if there's politics. I that's what I heard.
If you
There's lots of beef involved.
Theoretical beef.
if you meet a CrossFitter who's vegan, what does he say first?
I don't
It's
know.
like the chicken and the egg, innit? Which one are they going to tell you about first
Let's tell them fuck off before this.
before they start?
I think CrossFit's sort of like become it's like sort of like just settled
It's
down
like a
now.
cult.
No, it's settled down.
It
I
is
don't
a
think
bit
it's any
cultish.
cultish anymore.
A
Maybe it's
little
just
bit.
the UK style of CrossFit, but I don't think it's like in your face. What's the new
Do
things
you know why?
in the
Because
fitness world?
that's because British people aren't as in your face as Americans.
Yeah.
But on the internet, all you see is like Americans talking about these things and like, getting angry. Like, you know, this whole thing we always talk about, feminism and Z and Zir and all that shit. It's none of that's actually going
You're
on
in
where
like
we live.
you're in like a uni base, so obviously that's like that the uni is said
Is
to be the
anybody-
most like a melting pot of like progression and whatnot. So you seem like
Is anyone
strong
gender fluid?
feminist or
No one's
um,
gender fluid.
I think it's just America.
There we go. It's
innit?
just nonsense that happens in Yanksville.
I know, and we all just get not upset about it, but we're all like talk about it. It's in the news all the time,
Yeah.
just because.
I've had my eyes opened with CrossFit though lately. My next door neighbour, one of my good friends, Rory Malice, he's a very, very, very good CrossFitter, and I'm just so impressed by what they can do.
Yeah,
Like,
they're like that
I
pure
don't-
endurance.
I
Type
don't
thing.
give a crap about the whole bodybuilding versus CrossFit. Like, just enjoy them all.
Yeah,
Enjoy
yeah.
all levels of fitness. Like, the guy's an absolute athlete.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
What's
no,
not
yeah.
to appreciate about that?
They are freak athletes, the ones that take it
Oh, it's
seriously.
brilliant. I love it.
It's just
I love the grind. Like I try and talk to people that I grapple with and whatnot about because like wrestling versus jiu-jitsu, it'd be very hard to talk to you about like or to explain the ins and outs of both. But I don't know if you know about from America. Just shut the door so that it doesn't get cold. Just push it.
Oh, me.
Yeah, nice one. I don't know if you heard of like, or do you know like the notion of like in America wrestlers are just like constantly on it, like they've just got like this work ethic that's unparalleled with anything else. That's what I love about wrestling, and that's what also I feel like CrossFit has. You know, when you have them like WODs, that it's just like it's a percentage of your max. So you know everyone is working. You know, in the gym, working to your percent. Like you're working at 90% of your max. It's like
Yeah, like
a
your
taxing
RP.
level. Yeah.
Yeah, RP, rate of perceived exertion. But like, I was in the pub the other day. I didn't have a drink, don't worry.
Jeez, you're in the pub.
No, I did actually. I had a Guinness.
Yeah.
But it was after our exams, and there was a lot of physiology students with us, and there was a huge argument about, like, I'm talking an actual argument, not a debate or a friendly discussion between friends.
What's going on, mate? You're
Sorry,
banging
mate,
around.
There's fucking bits of wood all over the studio because
Yeah.
we haven't finished a wall.
Yeah, one wall still to go.
there's a huge argument between a CrossFitter and a cyclist
Yeah.
about who was the fitter athlete. And would you get someone like Chris Froome, or would you get the number one CrossFitter in the world? Who's the fittest guy?
Well, it depends, innit? It's like, what animal's best at climbing a tree? Like fish versus monkey. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna, it's how you measure them. Because I guess the CrossFitter isn't. The CrossFitter most so do quite well cycling, but then he's not going to do as good as the pure cyclists.
Yeah, an overall fitness test on everything. The CrossFitter's obviously going to win.
Yeah.
But put him on a bike against Chris Froome and he's not going to win.
He's going to be fucking
but
dust.
Who? Like, the question is, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
why does it matter?
How do you measure it? Yeah.
Yeah, like, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Ronaldo versus Messi debate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, why worry about it? Like, why does it have to go on to
It's
critique
pure
it?
skill versus an absolute ideal
Athlete.
footballer. Yeah, the ideal athlete. Like what natural skill versus you can't measure it.
Yeah.
You just sit back and they're both amazing.
Enjoy it.
I,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
it is. It's
And you can debate it till the end of time.
without believing in God. It's like God-given talent in it with Messi. Ronaldo is just like
The
grit,
pure- yeah.
determination, and being a physical specimen. And that's why you'll probably see now, as they get older, Ronaldo's probably going to fall off quicker than Messi, because Messi can still do the ridiculous little things that he's done his whole career.
But you don't know though,
Well, no.
because Ronaldo might the pure physical specimen that he is, he might carry that through, might be able to just stay in the game longer than Messi. We don't know because he's
like-
just an absolute athlete.
It's like Ronaldinho, like, you know, back in the day.
yeah.
That's what Messi's like in terms of...
Oh, so he'd just be like,
Like, he'll be able to
Playing
still,
wherever,
he'll
just
still be
skinning,
able to
yeah.
skim people like left and right when he's 35, whereas Ronaldo will lose that bit of pace as he gets older, and then Messi will...
Could say Messi relies a lot on his agility, though. Cutting in and out, quick feet.
But a lot of that's to do with his like his centre of gravity being quite
Yeah.
small as well. No, seriously, like you talk about that.
yeah.
So he doesn't win towering headers, does he?
No,
But
no, no.
Ronaldo does that, and they're the sort of things that'll go. How high he can jump, how quick he can run,
Yeah.
and then his numbers will drop off. Whereas Messi technically could.
You say
He
they'll
just-
drop off though. Well, what
Well,
basis?
they've dropped off slightly this year, haven't they? He's not been as good this year. In the Champions League, he's been killing it, but he
Mm.
hasn't been as good in La Liga this year.
I don't know. I don't keep up with La Liga. I hardly
No, they're not
keep up
doing
with
as
EPL.
well. They're,
No.
they're like fourth.
Yeah. So I just think he'll probably... Same with Bale.
Hmm.
He's a bit like Ronaldo. I think he'll drop off quicker than
Maybe.
Neymar or Suarez. I know Neymar's a lot younger.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, because Neymar, as quick as he is, also has a lot of, like, natural ability, whereas Bale's like a freak athlete again. Suarez is the same. He's like Messi, isn't he? Whereas other players aren't.
So Pete, sorry, I wanted to tangent because I wanted to talk to you about this before we lost you. Lost you as in like didn't have you sat down in front of a mic.
Where am I going?
Don't you want to know?
Number three and done. That's it. No, you don't get any more. I'm like getting dead interested in the sports I follow with like the mental game of sport. But I know like you working around athletes, quote unquote. Do you
Don't worry.
do you see it becoming a thing, or is it not? Is it like
psychological?
yeah? So like the mental aspect of sport, just competing in general, or just like
Are you looking for a
staying on-
life coach?
No, I'm just saying like you might open like a qualified nutrition life coach. Yeah, you know what I mean. But is it something that people are exploring? I know it's something that obviously high level athletes have always looked towards. Like being ready for game day and whatnot. But is it becoming a thing on like the ground base? Whereas like people that you're talking to that are just like your average athlete or your average player, are they? Like you've got like that young boxer that you posted on your Instagram the other week, and I had a look at his record and whatnot, and his own profile and that, and he's someone that's just starting out. Do you think someone like that is conscious of like how they approach a fight and how like their mental?
He's probably not. He probably doesn't put too much time into his psychological game.
Yeah,
But like all the top clubs now, and the English Institute of Sport, they've got loads of sports psychologists there now. All the football clubs have got them. It's becoming huge.
yeah.
And that's why there's so many degrees now in psychology and sports psychology. There's masters in it now. And everything that goes from the top always ends up filtering down to the lower. It's just obviously the lower league clubs aren't going to be able to afford.
No, but they can still put them on. So like, I know
Implement it,
I know you you have, and it sounds sad, but you have like tools for motivation. You purposely put things in your life that motivate you, which
Yes.
you can say it's just like you could do it. You do it most probably, but subconsciously, where you like follow people that you look at him and you're like, "Fuck, he's doing something. I better do something." Or you listen to a podcast or you watch a YouTube video or something. But that's like a low level being considerate about your mental aspect.
Well, I've put a chalkboard up in my room.
Yep.
And I write down what I'm going to do. But before I go to bed now, I'll start writing down what I've got to do the next day. And then if it's not done by the time I get back in bed the next day, I have to do it before I go to sleep.
Nice.
Whatever it is.
No, I think it's really powerful. That it's like, it's one of those, isn't it? The quote is, if you don't know where you're going, how are you supposed to get there? If you get in your car and you want to go somewhere, if you haven't planned the journey, how are you supposed to get there? If you don't know where you're going, sort of thing. So every day I'll write down my goals for that day, like Batch does. So maybe 3 or 4 things I need to do, and then at the end of the day I'll write down what I'm grateful for, whether that be having a warm bed, having my radiator next to me, whether that's learning something new off a lecturer, like just little things that really reel you in a bit and make you realise life isn't as like crap as people make out sometimes. It's actually try and appreciate the little things a bit more, and I find it so beneficial. My attitude to life since I've got into this whole motivation stuff so different. Just believe in yourself a bit more and realise it, like, things are possible.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, but like I try and think to myself, The Rock, why is The Rock better than me? And obviously you could probably name a few things, but really he was just born just like
Samoan genetics, mate. Big star.
Obviously genetics, but like why can't I do what he's doing, sort of thing? Like, what is it that separates people? And Eric Thomas, like, do you know Eric Thomas? The guy, How Bad You Want to Breathe? And
you're the black guy that shouts. Is he the shouty black guy?
I like how you just reduced this. yeah.
That's him, yeah. But he says, you've only got 24 hours in a day, and like the difference between Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett is they use their 24 hours wisely. They are no different to any of us. It's just they're so driven.
It's that work ethic.
They're just obsessed with it, and it's powerful. I watch those videos every day, and it gets me inspired. So.
It's like doubling back to the things I see in CrossFit is that community style working out, whereas like you've got people that are supporting you. You're not just on your own in the gym, and also the ethic of like we're getting this done no matter what, no matter what it'll be, and not to like blow smoke up CrossFitters' asses or whatever, but it's a nice thing to see, because when we're on when I go wrestling like Stockport or whatever, when we're on the mat, we might do like a fucking savage warm up, which is just totally grim, like body weight style exercise before you've even wrestled, or you might have like an hour of just you versus the rest of the people on the mat, 5-minute rounds, 30-second break, or 2.5-minute rounds, 30 seconds break, and it's just you got to take each other down, and it's just grim. You know what I mean? It's just the exertion is grim, and then how you get around each other to get yourselves through that. I love work ethic. I love seeing people with like a crazy work ethic. That's inspiring as fuck. So that's what
everyone who's successful seems to be in their field is obsessed with it. That's why sort of I feel like I'm going to go far in nutrition, because I'm just obsessed with it. My whole life is built around it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it takes to get there. You need to be obsessed.
And people find work ethic from like, you know what I mean? Like it might sound fucking bizarre, but there could be a darts player out there that's got crazy work ethic, and their work ethic is on parallel to someone that's like, you know, like a boxer, or someone that gets up and sticks to their diet and competes in bodybuilding or something. There's a lot of ways to get to this end goal, and like the army forms like quite a lot, like that Jocko Wills. If you listen to like some of his
that Jocko Willing,
yeah,
he's nuts.
If you listen to some of his like motivational stuff on YouTube, because that's where I started, and then I went into some of the stuff you recommended on the last podcast, and then I doubled down to like CT Fletcher, and stuff like that. And then you just sort of like get recommended stuff, don't you? And just sort of like run through it. Arnie's speeches as well are great. Like some people just back Arnie onto like 40 minutes worth of Arnie just talking onto like music. I don't know. You just put it on in the background whilst you're like cycling on the bicycle or something.
I listened to a Joe Rogan one yesterday actually. It's called Listen to This Every Day. and it's just a 20-minute speech by Joe Rogan about how he likes being uncomfortable, and it gets him to where he is. And then when he does put his feet up and watches a film with a beer, he appreciates it more.
Yeah.
And he says, "What is it? If you're a son of a successful man, you will never be a successful man yourself.
Yeah,
'Cause
unless you,
everything's given to you."
Mm.
And he says you've got to go through the hardship, and that's what makes me. So believe that. So
Yeah.
believe it. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
Have to.
fucking grim at the time, isn't it? But then some of them times where you are really uncomfortable, you look back on them and they're like the best times of your life. You sit down and look at them and think, "Thought that was amazing."
Yeah, that train in Poland. There was a train in Poland, Pete. It was the most uncomfortable night of my life.
We were just standing up for 16 hours, just talking shit.
Did it make you a better man though?
You look back on it, and it was
Yeah.
fucking fun. It was a right laugh.
Me and
but-
Chez, everyone else managed to get sleep in this little cramped. Like, imagine what the table we sat round was a cabin, and there was 4 seats down the length of this.
No, there was 6 seats.
Six seats on either side. We're
No,
in
no,
there.
yeah. Sorry, 3 seats either side, 6 in
Yeah,
total.
and we're in there. Was 4 of us. And no, there was 4 seats on either side because there was 2 people on.
Oh, so it was an 8-person cabin.
8-person cabin, no bigger than this table. No, it was smaller than this room. And
Bigger than this.
and there was
table.
2 big fat women, old fat like Polish women, and then another fat girl come in, and we were in there for 16 hours. There was no food or drink on this train, and we were just in there. In the end, me and Chez, it didn't stop for 16 hours either, anywhere. In the end, me and Chez were stood in the hallway, poking our heads out the window because it was red hot, having a fag out of the window and trees. This Polish train was running through like forests and all sorts of weird shit. And trees were hitting the train, and whoever had their head out the window in front of the other one was shouting "tree" and pulling their head in, dodging fucking branches and all sorts of shit. For 16 hours, didn't sleep a wink. It
Yeah,
was-
mostly nursing a hangover and
Yeah,
eating
it-
terrible stuff.
oh, it
but
was-
no, I know what you're saying. But then other stuff like going on like I don't know, like a hike with my brother, like in freezing cold temperatures, or just general stuff that makes you uncomfortable.
yeah, I felt half dead last time I climbed Snowdon.
Yeah. But you look back on it and it's like
I was well happy I
that
got
time
to the
was
top.
yeah.
I've been asked to go give a so at MMU on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up. I've been asked to. There's a careers conference day.
Yeah.
I've been asked to go give a presentation there. So if you're any students at MMU listening, make sure you're there. 12 o'clock, Brooks Building. But basically, it's my speech is going to be my speech or presentation, what we'll call it. It's going to be focused on how I've failed throughout my life.
Yeah.
So primary school, I was kicked out. I had to change primary schools. Then the secondary school, I got dropped from the.
Why are you getting kicked out of primary school?
Oh, it was a bad time in my life. I was very naughty. No, I was proper naughty.
Yeah.
And secondary school, I was in the top set, and then I got dropped down to a lower set. College, I failed college, got kicked out of A-levels, got kicked out of university the first time of trying, had to re-go again. My first year, I almost failed again, and then ended up getting Student of the Year. But I feel like I wouldn't have got Student of the Year, I wouldn't have got into Loughborough if I didn't have all these failures, because I sort of learned from them. Like, Pete, don't do that again. Maybe don't do that because that got you kicked out. Don't do this. It's like the failures build you as a person massively.
Yeah.
It's the bodybuilding thing as well during prep. You sort of become a stronger person after that because you've gone through all this mental strain. It really teaches you
Yeah, I think you can draw from them experiences.
massively.
And I seem to find, I don't know if I'm looking for it, but I seem to find it in everything. Like if I go mountain biking with my mates that are like legit mountain bikers, and I'm just like a fucking every so often fucking
Break your
newbie.
shoulder every so
Yeah, all the
often.
gear, no idea type character, and then you see them like cycling off, and they're not even breaking a sweat, and you're like really trying to fucking, like maybe like a fucking 3-mile climb or something, and it's just you find it in everything you do. I'm sure it's in everything, every sport, every activity.
Yeah.
At some level, there's like something to draw from it, and maybe I don't know if you're looking for it, you can spot it, but and also if you train yourself to. I don't know. I feel also if you find it in something, like you're saying, you can draw from it and transfer that to something else. So you might find it in bodybuilding, and then you might go for a walk. Say like us three went and for a random walk, and you were flagging. You'd be like, I've got through something tough before. I know I'm better than this. Because they say, I don't know. Is it hearsay? This study they say about fatigue. Like your muscles fatigue before. No, your mind fatigues before your muscles. So like your mind will turn around and it's built into the fundamentals of bodybuilding, I'm guessing, with the whole like going to failure and then beyond failure, where
The mind does fatigue first. They've proven that.
so your mind will be like, fuck this shit, the game's over, you've got nothing left, but really you there's a lot more left than you're aware of.
Yeah, that's why they do studies when they go to absolute failure. They'll plug them up with like, basically they'll just electrocute the muscles. So when they're testing leg muscles,
Yeah,
instead of saying right, keep going until you want to fail, they'll literally stimulate the muscle until it physically
Manually, yeah.
cannot do it.
yeah.
So because the mind always fatigues first.
I swear I heard something like it was 40% or something. Like, or it might have been the other
Most
way around. So
people
it might have
quit
been
at
like
60%.
yeah, so it
is
might
what
have
I
been
heard.
60%. So there might have been 40% left.
That's
I
going to
don't know.
depend on the individual though.
Right, I see.
So peripheral fatigue and then central fatigue, but central fatigue tends to go first. You want to give up before your muscles actually can't. But that's what makes people better than others, makes the better athletes better, because their central fatigue their capacity is a lot higher, so they can take the peripheral fatigue even further.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, never thought of that. Like, you might be, and it makes sense. Like, some people might be gifted in being taller. Some people may be gifted in, and it's just random genetics, but might be gifted in they just are physically numb to being fatigued. And I feel like that'd be a massive difference. I don't know. I also don't like these things that say like you were born fat or you were born to fail. Like, it's okay because it's your genetics, but maybe you were born with a lack of being able to not weather the storm, if you get me.
The thing is though, like, you could say you were born fat or whatever with a worse metabolism, but that also grants you better at other things.
How do you know though? You might be because there are shitty like people can be born with like, you know, all the allergies, life-threatening illnesses. And
Alright, I'm not on about like being born with fucking.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like you get a
crap
dice and you're
babies.
good at certain things and bad at others. I
What-
feel like it is just a roll of a dice on every single aspect.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, me and you, if we took me and you completely, and we both did the exact same training program, eventually your strength would probably cap out before mine, just because of our physical frames.
Right, okay, yeah.
Like, I've got bigger wrists, bigger shoulders, I'm taller.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a bigger person. So my strength would cap out higher than yours. But I'd assume as well, I don't know this as a fact, but your cardio would probably, my cardio would cap out before yours.
I think it's like, it depends,
I think
doesn't it?
because people are built differently, aren't they? Like, having a
Yeah,
lack
but
of...
you started this argument with saying that someone would, you'd be better in different aspects than others.
Yeah, so I would be. I'd be better as a powerlifter than you.
But but it depends.
For absolute strength.
But I guess but maybe percentages of body weight, or if you wanted to actually make it as fair as possible to test it, it depends how you looked at it.
But if you went for world's strongest man, there's more chance of me winning it than you, just based on your physique, like how you built.
Yeah.
And then there's more chance of you being a quicker sprinter than me, built on how you built. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people are born different, but that allows you to you should just find what your alley is, surely.
I don't know, but then what if your alley is not being good at anything? Like,
Your rally should be what you enjoy,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
No, but I mean, if you wanted to be the best at something,
Yeah.
there's certain things that you'd be born
Oh yeah.
that your physique allows. What's going on with my mic then? It was all freaking me out.
yeah, sorry.
There's certain things your physique allows you to do that others wouldn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
No, but it's
Usain Bolt wouldn't make a good marathon runner.
No,
But if you trained it from
doesn't
day
matter.
dot,
He's just got loads of fast twitch muscle
He'd
fibre.
never be in the elite level. Wouldn't be possible because of his genetics. His, like I said, his fiber types, his body weight, his height, everything. Just it wouldn't make a good marathon runner because of just how he was born. You could train it. He could become a very good marathon runner, but he'd never be up there with the elites because they're born. I mean, Mo Farah can hold. Have you ever put the treadmill on, like, I think he does like 23, 24 kilometers for like an entire race, like an entire 10k at like 23 kilometers. Have you ever put the treadmill on 23? I've never really got it above 15, 16 to be honest. Like, I've not really sprinted on it too much, but 23 is like a full-on sprint. I don't even know I could run that fast. And he
the pace
holds
of him,
that
yeah. When
for
you
10
watch him,
kilometers.
yeah.
It's unbelievable. There's a video you should watch at some point, and it's people trying to run at Mo Farah's speed, like maintain it, and the maximum I think someone did was like, I don't know, like 50 seconds, and he does it over the length of 10k. That's not just training. That's just being born a freak.
Yeah.
I just put in what you'd put.
Yeah, it's the top one. You were just on it.
Oh, what?
The BBC link.
This one, it.
Yeah, that'll probably be it. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it doesn't work.
That's a
What?
shame.
That makes no sense.
Fuck you, BBC. We pay good money for this shit.
Yeah, it's like 23, 24 kilometers, and that's just go on a treadmill when you next go to the gym. No, don't you try it.
I'm not built for that shit.
No, but honestly, it's just outrageous, and that's not just training.
Yeah, he's got the video. So it's his 5,000 metre, so 5k pace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just a still screen. It's not even.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. Someone's ripped it and put it on YouTube.
But, okay, I assume that he runs really fast. Now, because we can't see it, we're going to have to assume that. But no. Oh, sorry, mate. The fuck? It's that's how I look at things. And I mean, I'm not a scientist, but everyone's built for certain things.
It's true, but it's dangerous if you start using that because it's like as soon as you start giving yourself an excuse, you've always
Yeah,
got
a
something back
cop
on.
out. Yeah.
No, I don't mean
It's
it's an
dangerous.
excuse. I just mean because I'm not built to run marathons, right?
No, but you could.
But I could run a marathon, and I know I could. I'm not saying I can't, but I'm not built to run them at a high level.
No, you're never going to be the elite level, but
yeah, but
you
certain
could-
people are built to do it at an elite level.
Yeah, I agree.
And like,
That's how, yeah.
in theory, I've probably got the physique that could have done well, or like just the natural size to go well at like a powerlifting competition,
Of course.
or something like that. Because maybe not be elite, because you need special genetics to be elite at anything.
Yeah,
but,
look at Eddie Hall when he was 16.
yeah.
Have you ever seen a picture of Eddie Hall when he was 16?
No, but Chess can pull it up.
Outrageous. Looked like he was like 30.
What? Like what? In his
Just put Eddie Hall
overall
teenager.
Eddie when he was 165. What the fuck? He's gone to Eddie Alvarez.
Or just type in Eddie Hall
Yeah, I'll
teenager.
put it. I'll put it.
It's actually that picture there when he was 16, I believe. Left.
This one.
Left.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a 16-year-old, does it? Look at his body.
Jesus Christ.
That's genetics.
Me at 14 years old.
Oh, 14.
Fuck.
That guy's stealing your bitch.
It's still your house, is that?
No, look at me when I was 14. I weighed about 7 stone. It's just genetics.
Yeah. You met him, didn't you, when you went to train at Strav? Have you
Yeah.
met him a couple of times, or?
Just the once, and I knew he was going to be big, as you can imagine. But then you can't really anticipate how big he really is until you sit next to him.
How tall is he?
I'm not sure. He's not even the tallest.
Is that a six-pack creeping?
Yeah.
He's looking lean, isn't he?
No, gee.
It's like a human gorilla, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
Special guy. He's really cool. Really cool.
what you... see, this is where I want to be, like, I'd love to just stand next to someone like the Mountain
Yeah.
off Game of... Do you know what I mean? Just to see... Because that's... he makes Eddie Hall look small,
Yeah.
like, in his height-wise and that.
Yeah.
That's he's fucking ridiculous. With abs and that at fucking, like, 350 pounds.
Freaks.
Mm.
You'll have abs soon, mate.
Yeah, but not at 350 pounds.
Batch will have that. Like, if you keep him on this diet, this will be a phenomenon.
This what?
Diet, living,
We don't
flexible
We don't
eating.
use that word diet. Nah, it's cool.
And then I hope, like, I've seen Batch do some things that I was like, he's not up for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've seen him pull through situations, and even if just like out and about, or just generally just like perseverance in his character. But I don't know, if you get him to keep on this.
I'm easily led away from what's meant to be going on.
Yeah.
Like, I always have been. I'll easily just fucking find something interesting and just go and do that, or go do this, or...
But that's why we've got things in place
That's why
that
I've
he's
got
got to be
Pete.
accountable for. He's got to send me pictures. He's got to send me a picture of himself. He's not going to want to mess it up, because otherwise he's sending me a picture where...
Yeah, accountability.
That's
think
what I
we've-
need.
We've
I've always
spoke a
needed
lot
that
about
shit.
accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the strongest I ever got was when I was training with you, because I had to go to the gym with you, or you give me shit.
Yeah.
And then I got silly strong, really, for what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just fucked it off because we didn't go to the gym ever anymore. And then it was like, oh, I'm just going on my own. But now I've got someone shouting at me.
So we have weekly check-ins. The questionnaires we're going to give him each week. I say questionnaire, but it's actually feedback for that week. He's going to send me pictures every now and then. Well, we've obviously discussed that. We're not going to give our whole plan away.
There's
are
no
we, Batch?
secrets.
No,
Just
yeah.
keep
Few
the
secrets.
Yeah.
But we're going to be
Loads of
keeping them on.
Buckets of steroids.
Windstrom.
But we're going to keep him. We're going to basically hold him accountable for it.
Yeah.
He's going to be. I've got faith in him. I think you'll do really well on
See,
this.
someone has, like you.
I didn't say I have faith in you. Just like,
Why did
you know what I mean? You spin a roulette wheel and it comes up black 10 times. And actually, no, because that's a terrible new. Yeah. All right, I don't know. I was at Blackpool today and you do that camel derby, you know, where you throw the balls into the hole and it moves the camels along. This guy next to me was a savage, and then I waited until he stopped playing to then play so I could win a big banana for my dog.
You won it, didn't you?
Yeah. But like, he's winning every time, so I'm, you know what I mean? I'm going to bet on him every time. So if I see you start a diet / yeah. But this time it might be different, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it as in like, I don't want you to succeed. I don't like a lot of people that are quick to jump on someone, maybe in their lives or whatever, when they don't like succeed at like a diet or, do you know what I mean? Because I feel like if you go on a health kick, a lot of people like to tell everyone they're on a health kick, or I don't know.
I wasn't going to tell anyone.
It's what you're doing though, isn't it? Though, like if you're eating healthy, you need to tell people around you. And then I feel like a lot of people are like, "Nah, you'll never do that. You never."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I
think that's why.
I think that's a lot of negativity.
There's crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, crabs in the bucket.
Do you not know about that?
No, go on.
You put a load of crabs in the bucket. They all want to climb out, so they'll climb on top of each other. But when one starts getting near the rim, the other crabs will grab the other crab and pull it down.
Yeah.
Because they want to climb over that crab.
Yeah.
So they won't actually let any of the other crabs win.
No.
And that's what people are like.
Crabs are savage.
No, but do you know what I mean? That's what people are like. They'll hear you're doing something because they've never done it, or do you know what I mean? Then they'll go,
Yeah,
oh, you can't
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And it's to say, it's like, that's the analogy.
People don't
Everyone
wanna
trying to
support
pull
you.
you back down to their level
Yeah.
instead of what if you went up following you up, essentially.
Yeah.
People don't support you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that a lot. Like the past, especially now, the past month or so, I've been pushing qualified nutrition.
Oh, people be like, "Oh, it's silly," or
Oh,
"It's
so many
just like
people.
daft," or "Why you littering my news feed with this?" Or
Exactly, and you've just got to ignore it. And I know people who want to pursue things like this themselves. I've got friends who want to go down the same route, and they don't want to do it because they're scared their friends are going to judge them.
Yeah.
And not be and the friends will not be supportive.
People give us shit about this originally. Now no one gives a fuck.
Exactly, they just say, "Oh, there's educated apes." They don't. Whereas now I'm at a point where why is Pete filling my news feed up with qualified nutrition?
Yeah.
And they'll see something, they just will not support it. But you've just got to get past that.
unfollow it.
I feel like that's why when you make any sort of like content online and you get talking to other people that make other content, you always end up like, we always share things from yourself, or if I see anything that Sean's doing from Extreme Being, I'll share it or I'll like it, just because I know how hard, I mean, he's doing really well with his business, but I know how hard it is grinding to try and get people to listen to this, or grinding to try and get more likes or follows or whatever, just so you can try and get your little thing out there more. So I always think if anyone I see that's on the same sort of wavelength as us, I always share your shit if I see it.
It's not wavelength. It's more you understand their
Yeah, I know
struggle
what
in a
they're
way.
going through,
Yeah.
and like any little shares and likes, comments help them, don't they?
And it's the secret. I don't know if you've like listened or gone into this, but like the secret listener or the secret watcher, you don't know how many people are actually listening. You might see like figures or whatever of like people that click on Qualified Nutrition as a website. Like you might have a view counter, but you don't know. You can't put faces to names or faces to clicks or IP addresses. So there's someone out there that's listening to this or listening or reading your posts or whatever, and they want you to carry on, but they're not physically going to stand up and be like, I'm here and I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's there, do you know what I mean? And you have to just sort of
There's probably
Trust.
people as well, right? That we always look at this like we're not very far ahead of this journey, you know, on a podcast. We always look like we haven't really done that much, but there's people out there that want.
just say how it is. I'm quick to put you down.
No, just like us, like we put ourselves down in a way, and we're like, yeah, it's not that big, and it's not this, and it's not that. But there's people out there that are probably listening to this that want to start a podcast that haven't, because they think it's some sort of monumental challenge. But we just winged it,
Yeah.
and we just got here by plugging away and doing little bits and bobs, and like
The thing is as well, like it's very hard to come home and work for yourself, isn't it?
It
Like
is-
in a way.
it is
And I
when
know
it's someone that
it's
doesn't
more
earn you
applicable
money.
to yourself than us, because we're just this isn't like a ploy for like financial gain or anything, or it isn't like something that we do day in day out, which like nutrition is for yourself. But it's very hard to come home from maybe just doing any old job. Maybe if you're even at uni and you're doing like some sort of like working just like a stereotypical service type job, and then to come home and be like, right, I'm going to focus on my work now. I'm going to focus on bettering myself as a human being and bettering my journey. It's rough. It's rough to get home and have that motivation. So,
Very hard. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we've got lucky along the way a little bit that you had this fucking office in the garden when you bought the house and stuff to turn into the studio.
yeah.
But we started in a conservatory with two of the shittiest little mics and this little mix board. And we were just talking absolute nonsense. And then
8 days time was on the 18th of February 3 years ago. We released our first podcast, which is like
Nice work.
it's crazy. 3 years that we've just kept going, and we started this podcast because we both go in this float tank place. It was like a meditation place in Wimslow, and the guy who ran it had his own podcast, and we'd go in separately for our appointments. And it's like you go in there and meditate like in like a capsule.
you've heard
type
of an
thing.
isolation tank.
Yeah, by you two.
Yeah.
And you come out and obviously you just talk through what you were doing, and he was sort of like a life coach,
He was
whereas
a
he'd
real
like
hippie.
conceptualize what
Great
you
guy.
saw in there and what you did and whatnot. And when we were both talking about what we were doing separately, because we weren't going together, were we? Because there was
No.
only one tank, so we go like different days of the week or
But
whatever.
we had a shared membership because we were cool like
no,
that.
you shared my
I
membership.
shared his membership so I could get cheaper.
And the guy turned around and be like, "You two should start a podcast," because we were always talking about just talking through our thing, like just our thoughts, or talking through our, I don't know, like not all people are created equal, but everyone's on a journey, and maybe there's a way, like people write journals, or people would write like a blog, or people would maybe scroll back through their newsfeed on Facebook, and they're all ways of gauging of where you've been and where you're going.
Yeah.
We just decided that our way was, or we wanted to create a way which was a podcast.
Yeah, he sort of talked us into it though.
Yeah.
He said, I've told Josh, I'm telling you, why haven't you started a podcast
Yeah.
yet? And then we were like,
The irony of it that his podcast isn't
the
exist
guy
anymore,
who-
and ours is still
yeah,
going.
he told us, and the float tank centre isn't there anymore.
No, it was.
anything.
I don't think it was a viable business source for himself, but
But
yeah.
he's not. That's not there anymore. But we've carried on.
Did you feel your like childhood friends supported you?
Yeah, people that we knew and knew like
They
us
just
from
give
the,
you the normal like ribbing. Why are you dicking about on the internet? But not like.
No, they.
I got it off some of the like you know, some of the lads just what the fuck, like not being dicks, and no one was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like everyone was just like, why are you dicking about on the internet? You know, and just like, you know, standard lad banter between you boys in the pub or whatever. But like it nobody ever gave a shit that we were doing it. But they all liked it straight away as well, just so we got some numbers.
Yeah.
And then we just went from there, really.
Yeah, but it's nothing monumental. I think a lesson from anyone, and I know you go through this with pushing your social media and whatever, is that you just got to do what you want to do, and people that want to listen or want to read or want to follow will come along, and the rest will just, you know, they might rib you for a while, or they might tell you you're fucking wasting your time or whatever, but after a while they'll drop off, and then you'll find your own feet, and it'll just keep getting redefined over and over again until it finds what it is, and then that'll never be what it actually is.
There's
'cause it'll
7
just-
billion people on the planet.
It'll
and the
keep
internet will
redefining
make
itself.
you
Yeah.
realise that some people like the same shit as you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're into it and you're consistent with it, people that like your shit will listen
That's it,
or
isn't
watch
it?
your shit.
Consistency. Most people give up on like whatever their goal is
We come
in 90
close a
days.
couple of times, didn't we? Jacking this in, like,
But
But
if, you,
jacking anything in, yeah.
but if you could put into a machine like I want to do this every single day, and then fast forward 2 years. So say I make an infographic every day, I make a meme every other day, I make a new YouTube. If I were to fast forward 2 years and I did it every single day, you're bound to end up somewhere.
You can't see that, yeah, that
You
that
don't see it like
compoundment of, it's like you were saying about short-term and long-term goals before.
Yeah.
You might turn around and be like, I want to be, I want to be, like, I've never bench pressed 100 kilos. So maybe like, I want to bench press 200 kilos. I want to squat so much and whatever. And yeah, and you've got these like massive goals right up there that you are so far away you can't touch. But if you sit down and write every morning, I want to do this. I want to, it's like 3 things. I want to train,
Yeah.
eat like a certain amount of protein, not even like just eat clean, like eat a certain amount of something, and I don't know, learn something else, like if you wanted to learn a different language or something, like just something that you wanted to, a short-term goal, something that's really easily achievable that day, and then the compounding of all these days into one will slowly get you towards it, and then before you know it, you've surpassed your goal that you set, and you're pushing on to other goals. I feel like short-term goals are a lot better to set yourself in the short term, and not just sit there and think like, I want to be there.
I've decided I'm not going to worry about long-term goals.
Yeah.
I've got an idea of where I want to go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I'm just going to keep worrying about the day-to-day things, because I think it's easier to deal with something on a daily level than it is on a 2-year plan.
Yeah. 100%.
Do you think you should visualize it though? Sort of have an idea in your head, right? Roughly, I want to be there, because if you picture it every day, your smaller goals will become a lot more achievable because you'll be motivated by thinking about this long-term goal.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you feel. But like, one thing I've noticed, and I can't believe I've never noticed this before, really thought about it, but I'm currently on my diet myself, aren't I? Oh,
Yeah.
Shit, I said diet.
Ah.
But I'm currently hitting these small goals, small achievements each day. Like I've hit my macros, like little small things like that. I've done my cardio, and the rest of your life becomes so much more. Don't know how to explain it, but you feel so much more driven by achieving these small goals. You feel like you can accomplish the other goals.
Yeah.
So it's like when you do a tough gym session, you come out of that gym feeling like, you know what, I just smashed that gym session. Now I'm going to go smash my infographic. I'm going to go do this and that with a client.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it just drives you further. It makes you believe in yourself more. I was having a really, really down day on, I think it's 3 days ago now. And I mean really down. I just didn't believe in myself. Or I'm wasting my time in qualified nutrition. I don't know why I'm doing this
It's
degree.
probably the day talk to me. It's all a waste of time. Fuck it off.
Send bad
But I
vibes.
felt so negative, and I didn't know why. I couldn't put my
Why
finger
does
on
that
it.
happen to people? Yeah, I know.
I felt awful, and
Yeah.
I know I'm not the only one who goes through this. I know people do this daily.
Yeah.
And I went to the gym, and I left that gym. I did my workout, and I thought, I'm going to do my cardio. Finished my cardio, I was buzzing.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to smash it. I'm going to go do it. And literally in the space of 2 hours, I'd gone from not wanting to kill myself, obviously, but that the term really down to feeling like I could take on the world. And
Yeah.
Qualified Nutrition is going to be the biggest company in the world. Like, it's weird how your mindset changes by achieving that cardio, hitting your macros for the day, and
Yeah.
suddenly, it's weird how it works. But I strongly believe in hitting small goals is going to help you.
Maybe you should never trust your feelings. I had one of them days the other week, and I was on to my missus like, fuck, I'm going to be a terrible parent. I don't even know why we're doing this. I'm fucking, my life's a mess. I'm everything's failing around me. And then, like, you know what I mean? Like, half a day later, I'm like, who was that person? Like,
Yeah,
why were you thinking all them things? Like, do you know what I mean? It's,
You've just got to realize everyone, like literally everyone, has those days. Even the greatest people in the world, they will have those down moments.
yeah.
And it's blanking out and finding your way around them. So for me, it's going to do a cardio session.
Yeah.
Or writing and making a really good infographic out of it. I'm really proud of. And then suddenly your mindset's like switched.
Sort of like belittling your achievements and stuff as well, and like sitting and thinking you're not as good as, because you are. It's proven time and time again with people that become famous or good at sports or whatever, that like you're saying, the visualization aspect and the belief aspect and that like sort of mindset just produces, quality sort of results. Whereas if you just sit down and you're going to think negative and you're always going to be stuck in this rut, you're going to sit down and you're never really going to get away from that point. Do you know what I mean?
Did you hear about, you've probably in the past heard Jim Carrey, what he did before he was
Yeah.
where he wrote out himself a check. He wrote
Yeah,
himself
yeah,
a
yeah.
check out for $1 million and
Yeah.
kept it in his pocket.
And say, I'm going to, yeah.
And it's like, it's awesome. And so many people that Conor McGregor's obviously a big fan of it. Denzel
Yeah.
Washington.
I didn't want to say Conor before because I was like, we always harp on about this bullshit. But, but like, I didn't want to use him as an example because we always talk about him, but yeah, like that.
It's like me. So what I should do is Photoshop abs onto myself and carry the picture around in a pocket.
I was saying before.
Keep it in your wallet. Batch with a 6-pack.
I was like, yeah, that's the one. Back my own background. Used to be in shape.
Yeah, you should do one of them transformation ones. You know, where there's like a fat white kid and then like this stat black guy.
they're the best ones.
Qualified Nutrition logo in the bottom.
Yeah. Pete, it's been a fucking pleasure, man. I always enjoy having you on because I feel like it's just, I don't know, I feel like we're all, not yourself, like you're pushing this Qualified Nutrition and seeing you like working with athletes and whatnot and then posting on Instagram, and then I follow your YouTube videos now, which I'd never done before. Like when you first came on, I'd gone back before you came on and watched a couple, But from that day where I came up to you in the gym and was like, I do a podcast, you want to come on? And you were like, yeah. Like, from that day to now, it just seems like watching your growth is just, you know what I mean? It's obviously you can't step back and look at it, but then to step back to think of what we were then or what we were doing and what you were doing yourself and then what it is now, it's crazy just to sit and look at it. And
Still
then,
remember that day. So this is me. I'm in peak physique, and I'm sure I'm not new there, but I'm relatively new, and I'm quite shy and all that. And there's you lot in your little gang doing your deadlifts and whatever.
yeah.
And you came over to me, and I thought, oh shit, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna start on me or something? And like, you're just so friendly, and it's like you were on the same page as me. I don't know if your podcast was set up then. I think it must have been.
Yeah, it was.
it's 3
And-
years old.
and-
now.
and
Yeah.
You just like said, yo, Pete, like, you know, your YouTube channel, I really like respect what you're doing. You're trying to put yourself out there and do something with your life. It's like, just amazed by that. Just shows what sort of character you are, to be fair. And
Chest come and
how
hit on you
supportive
then.
you are.
Chest
Yeah.
come and hit on you in the gym.
Can I touch your muscles?
You're looking fine. I think you gravitate to these sort of people because I just like started training at this gym, Bedlam BJJ in Kisgrove, and some of the guys that train there and some of the guys that run that gym, and you've obviously known them and whatnot,
Yeah.
but it's just nice to be around people that are trying to do something, trying to like bring grappling into Cheshire or into Crewe. It's just, you know, it's something that I never thought I'd see, and now all of a sudden it could be on the horizon, and it could be something that they could be pushing, or like trying to bring, like yourself, like going from competing to then, you know what I mean? You follow nutrition all the way through, so you got interested in it, and then all of a sudden it's now like, not the cliche, but live and breathe it in a sense. So
It's true. We're trying to put Crewe on the map, aren't we? After that,
Crewe on the map.
that dreadful Streets of Crewe absolutely destroyed us. We're trying
Yeah,
to
we'll
give
turn
it
it
some
round.
reputation back.
We'll turn it around.
And we were the chav capital of Europe at one point in our lives as well.
There's a lot of people around that are trying to push good things. I feel like
Good
yeah,
vibes are coming from Crewe.
I hate people that turn around and say it's a shithole but don't leave.
I
Fuck
love
them
Crewe.
cunts.
I love it.
Yeah, I just like people, and you find good people everywhere. So
Yeah.
and Crewe's not removed from that, I guess.
No, sound people in Crewe. My voice is going. Ches is breaking shit. What if you just broke?
It's not something off there. Is there any, do you want to plug all your shit then before we we
Quite a
wrap
few,
this?
isn't it? Nah, there's
Just
the
plug it all. Top
YouTube
Bachelor
channel.
Athletics.
We've got the YouTube channel P-Bell Fitness. We've got Facebook page Qualified Nutrition, and it's www.qualifiednutrition.com. What else is there? There's Instagram, P-Bell Fitness.
P-Bell Fitness.
Just P-Bell Fitness and Qualified Nutrition.
Follow that shit.
Yeah, keep them infographics coming. Keep
Those memes.
keep the content going. Well, I'll keep trying to on my lunch break at work. Keep fucking them up and sending them to Batch. Just joking about
That Drake one got a lot of good feedback.
the what?
The Drake one with flexible dieting.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Got a lot
I did. I enjoyed how you put your face on there. You weren't shy of putting the face to the the meme.
I'm still a fan of when Pete Bell went keto and it had news bulletin. That was a favourite of ours.
That was a dreadful week.
A dreadful week.
I couldn't
You couldn't
do it.
get behind keto.
Can't do it.
Couldn't get
I
behind
don't
it.
like
So you
bacon
just,
enough, that's your problem.
yeah, you won't get on that
You're
bacon
too
diet.
busy worrying about the pigs.
Too busy worrying about
Fucking
the
secret
pigs.
vegan.
Yeah. Well, no, thanks for coming on. For some reason, the fade out ended.
Pleasure.
I need to make it longer. This fade out, like. There we go again. This has been HKH podcast, P-Bell Fitness. Give him a follow. Also, get us all our social media. I won't fucking bore anyone with it. But cheers for coming on for your third time. Like I was saying before, it was awesome seeing your growth from the get-go, and obviously we're still around to witness that and share it through our small social feed. So yeah, nice
There's an
one.
open,
been
there's an
really
open door policy at the Educated Ape Studio with
No
guests
politics.
like yourselves.
No bullshit. Well, maybe a bit of bullshit, but
All bullshit.
this has been the HKH podcast. Cheers for listening.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.
Peace.